Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, so you know what that means. You know it's Tap Talk Day. I kind of feel like we just did this, so I'm not sure where this week went, but it's Thursday again. So please join me in welcoming FM Kicks director, Tim Johnson. Hi, Tim.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. So I feel like I know a lot about your organization, all things I can know, but my director of operations, Tanya Blanich, is on your board. So she is super invested in your work. So I always know what's coming up. I know all the concerts that you put on, all of the interesting people that you work with. So I was really happy to have you on today because you've got two big concerts coming up this weekend and into next week that I think our audience might really find enjoyable. So let's just get started with those, and then we'll maybe talk a little bit about Kicks Band as a whole. Tell me about Saturday's concert, Tim.
Well, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to Tanya because she's
As
been
you
just
should.
instrumental in helping me and making this band, helping this band come from, a band from the trunk of my car to being a jazz arts organization. So real big shout out to her. She's been just a big help. And the arts partnership, over the years has helped with support for projects and now operating support. So that's huge too. So we're real lucky to have TAP as part of our community. But
Thank you.
on Saturday, we're doing an originals concert. We'll do, I think 12 to 13 charts of local musicians' music, original compositions. We have arrangements of songs. And part of this originals concert is part of a grant from the Lake Region Arts Council, the 9-county region out of Fergus Falls, that's supported by the Minnesota taxpayers, through that
Their legacy funding.
legacy funding.
Yep.
And I just put in a grant to try to archive and create some music of our local composers. And so we made a recording and we recorded 7 songs. We did that last month, and it was just a really wonderful day for the whole band. We sat there and, as you can imagine, you think, oh, it's really intense. We're playing a lot, but a lot of the time was sitting there because, we're trying to get the headphones tweaked up or get that microphone situated, so there's a lot of patient waiting, and then all of a sudden play.
There's a lot of hurry up and wait to all production. Same
Right.
is true in the commercial world, the acting world, all of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, I know I've been in that situation once or twice, but not a lot. So both for the band and the musicians, it was interesting. And then the product that we have coming out is, I think everybody will be well pleased.
Excellent. So that is on Saturday. Where is it at and what time?
That's at the TAC music venue over in Dilworth.
Okay.
And that's at 7:30.
Okay.
We're asking $20 for adults. If you have a college ID student, it's $10. But that's we're hearing Ed Christensen, our founder. He has a few songs, and Alan Carter gave us permission to do his song. And there's a gentleman that's passed now, but his name is Ralph Muchler. He's from Northwood. And I got exposed to a tune when I lived up in Grand Forks and played with the Dick King Band. Okay. And I researched and I called the guy up there that runs the Dick King Band now. And I said, hey, can we get that? And so he sent the chart down, and I got permissions from the publishers. And there's a really cool song arranged by Ed Schwinn that has played saxophone with the Kicks Band. He was in the Marine Band and arranged for them many years ago. I don't know how many, but so, it's a song, Ray Obedo. We got permission from him to record it. So, and Russ Peterson, we have a song in there from Russ, and it's just a lot of great music.
Great. Okay, so that's Saturday's concert. How many players will be there Saturday, Tim?
Well, it's a 16 piece is what we're running right now.
Okay. Yeah. So I just want to say to anyone who's thinking $20, and if you aren't, good for you, but $20, that's in essence like $1.10 per player. So think of it that way. You can barely buy Tootsie Rolls for $1.10 anymore. And these are, well, let me say, we are so lucky in this community to have world-class musicians because of the universities and the college and their commitment to bringing in faculty who are really kind of the best of the best. but it means that our symphony, our jazz bands, our community bands are populated with remarkable musicians. This is not like a, oh yeah, we'll go and listen to a little group play. This is serious music played by serious musicians.
Yeah, our community doesn't. I thank you for the musician plug there, but as you know, and people watching this know that our whole community is just the arts and the acting and
Yeah.
singing. Everything is
Yeah,
just
the performing arts are really strong here for sure. Well, the visual arts are too. We're really lucky in this community to just have a lot of access to a lot of
it's kind
very
of like
good art.
a best kept secret, you
It
know.
is. It is. I wish that it were a little bit less of a best kept secret. We would have a little better funding opportunities if it were. So we got to keep working on that. But that's Saturday, 7:30 at TAC.
Mhm.
And then what's on Tuesday?
And then Tuesday, supported by the Lake Region Arts Council as well, we are trying to bring the music to the universities or bring the music to the kids, sort of hoping to get a younger base, if you will, and just to give a big band dance for folks to go to. So it's for everybody from all colleges and everybody from all ages and from all towns. We're holding it at the MSUM Ballroom. It's at the second floor of the Comstock Memorial Union. Parking after 4:30, most of that parking is all open,
Yep.
uh, and there's some street parking. So, but we're doing 4 of those throughout the year. This will be our second one, November 22nd, this Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. So last time we did it, October 11th, I think.
Right.
We had about 75 folks there, and we thought that was a pretty good showing for our first one. Uh,
Absolutely.
and now we have some desserts we're going to put on the side for folks, and we're preparing for even more. So come on
You
out.
can't beat dessert and good music. And I mean, you don't have to have been alive. Neither one of us were alive during the true golden age of big band music. But that music is unbelievable and has an enduring legacy that I think makes it so fun. But to hear it live, I think is going to be really exciting. My husband and I are going to that concert, and I cannot wait.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
come to dance or come to listen, or both.
Yeah, I don't know. I envisioned how we would do that great move you see them do where the girl puts her hands on his hips and then he kind of hoists her up in the air. I don't see us trying that for the first time on Tuesday. That feels like something you'd want to practice.
We could do that one in March, okay?
We'll work on that over the Christmas break and we'll be ready for it in the spring. Okay, so Tim, talk to me a little bit about the history of this group because on one hand, you don't necessarily go Fargo Moorhead up in the upper Great Plains. Seems like a jazz town. Seems a little incongruous if you just think about it on its surface. So, how in the world do we have this excellent group of jazz musicians playing in this excellent group?
Well, yeah, it seems like over the years, and I haven't been here that long. I think I moved to Fargo in 98,
Okay.
97, 98. And over the years, it seems like there's an ebb and flow. There'll be more jazz in town, and then it'll kind of be a little less, and more jazz. And, lately it's been more. And the Kicks Band has been fortunate to be part of the jazz scene since like 1975 when Ed took it over. He was a retired band director from Fargo North, and his family is all musical. His daughter Amy, my wife, plays in the band and sings, and Tom, he plays drums in it. But it was started in '75, and then they got together on Saturdays for musicians to enjoy great music, socialize, have coffee, and to improvise. I remember one of my first times in the band, Ed went around, he said, okay, everybody's going to take a solo. And we did. And I was like, okay, and it went well. And it was a great experience, So he went out of his way to try to make a meaningful experience for the musicians. Now we're just focus a little more on going into schools with some artist residencies. And we do the All City High School Jazz Band Festival in April. April is Jazz Appreciation Month at the sanctuary there. So we try to do, things for the younger students. And now this MSUM College Dance, which is for everybody.
For everybody.
And, yeah. And then just in the summers, good news. I did find out that we are funded for our summer park concerts.
Oh, fantastic.
Minnesota State
Congratulations.
Arts Board. Yeah, so that's
Great.
fantastic. It's huge. So we'll have one in June and then a couple in July and one in September. And uh, yeah,
That's
so the
great.
history, back to the history. Yeah, so we've had a lot of great players in there. One of them is still playing since the band originated. John D. Fiore, a tenor saxophone. He sounds fantastic, still playing up a storm. And he's come and see him on Saturday and Tuesday as well.
That's fantastic. I have to tell you this story because you will appreciate it more than most. So, my son got his first job in Los Angeles right out of college and moved out there and was a violin player in his school orchestra and found one of, 25,000 community orchestras in LA. And I was out there for their first concert. So, this was the fall of 2019. It was the start of their 70th season.
Nice.
And they were doing a conductor search. So the conductor who was guest conducting was also a composer. He composed a prelude to kick off the season and to commemorate the last original founding member of that orchestra. 70 years, French horn player, Tim, still playing. Have you ever heard? I mean, even if he was 15, that makes him 85.
Yeah,
That's unbelievable.
that's fantastic.
It's incredible. It speaks to the point you just made about your founding member and the point that I make all the time. You can do the arts for almost the entirety of your life. You might have to step away from some more robust performing opportunities or those kinds of things as you age, but you can play an instrument, you can hold a paintbrush, you can sing in a choir, you can do all these things for your whole life. It is a cradle to grave pursuit.
Even if you're physically unable to do that skill, you're still doing it in your heart and in your mind.
Absolutely. It's such an underappreciated gift that we have as human beings if we have been introduced to and invited to participate in art making in any form or any medium.
For sure. That's where that young experience, we
Yeah.
want that to be positive,
Yep.
And that can be a tricky one sometimes, as a
It can
former
be.
teacher myself,
Not everybody is cut out to perform. Doesn't mean they can't enjoy it, but you have to also, just like not everybody gets to be a heart surgeon, not everybody gets to be a soloist in a jazz band. That's just kind of how it goes.
But it takes about the same amount of hours.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
To be a great improvisationalist or
Yeah.
a heart surgeon.
I was in
I'm not going to equate the two because
they're different, but you're 100% right. You don't just show up and comfortably improvise through a chart of music. You just don't. I don't care who you are. It's a repetitive thing. It's a comfort thing. It's an understanding of the fundamentals, which allow you to then break the rules. All those things that I think good artists really understand.
And that's where that language piece comes in.
There it is. Absolutely. Yes. So I have a last question for you, Tim, because I've always been fascinated by this. Why do jazz musicians call scores or their music charts? It sounds like it's a knock-knock joke, doesn't it? It's a real question.
I'm going to make this up, and you can decide in the comments below if it's an appropriate. Well, I think, part of it is, you have to chart it out. If you're making a composition, unlike Mozart, everybody else had to kind of write it out and come up with the melody, and they charted it out, and then they go through the bridge, the different part, and if they wanted a C part or back to the B, so they're keeping tabs on where their chart is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're charting it out. That's like a doctor's chart. Here's your info for the day. Let's chart it out. And so if anybody else has a better explanation.
Do you call classical scores charts as well?
Well, not in my mind, I guess. I mean, I guess when I'm talking a chart, that's probably more jazz or pop, but
what it made me wonder was if you look at a jazz score, often it is not proscriptive the way a Mozart piece will be. Everybody knows that you play this line of notes and you don't deviate from it. It's how you can have 16 violins sound like one, because there is no like, let's break an improv in that
Yeah,
kind of music. I wondered if it was called a chart because it really isn't whole music. It's often just, here are the, like the chord notes or the tonal notes. And then your job is to go off and speak the language that you
yeah,
speak in relation to this. But that was just a guess from me.
yeah. See, the chart part for a jazz band, I mean, is very similar to the chart part of a symphony. I mean,
Oh, it
you're reading those notes exactly as put there
Oh,
in the
all right.
correct style and length and tone
Okay.
and phrasing, and then you get to that next part where it opens up, where the players are playing the bass chords of the
Yep.
music, where then the improvisation starts.
Oh,
That's where those folks come in and they blow a few solos and then come back into the band that's
yep.
written, you know.
Oh, well, that shoots my theory right out the window.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the challenge for the group. Let Tim and me know what you think the difference is between a chart and a score, because I really only ever hear jazz musicians talk about charts. So there's got to be a
The
reason for
score,
it.
you're going to see all those parts on the score. You know, every
Yeah.
part that's lined up, you're going to
Yeah.
see everything that's going on.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked, because now at least I know my thought was wrong. That's all right. One fewer thing to keep in my brain.
That's, although we did a song at our last concert that many of the musicians in it had improvised parts as part of the chart. So
Oh,
that would support your theory for that song, but there's
for
not a
one
whole lot
song.
of there's not too many of those types.
Yeah, probably more regular jazz than those kinds. So, all right, I'm going to do a little research and see what I can find out. Well, Tim, I can't be there Saturday, but I will see you on Tuesday.
Okay.
Good luck on Saturday with that concert. What a great thing to lift up local composers. We need more of that as well. So, thank you for that. I hope everybody goes out and enjoys these concerts. Get to live jazz. It's a unique experience, unlike kind of anything else. And as always, thanks to 702 Communications for the support. Tim, thanks for joining me.
Hey, and fmkicksband.com, you can check out the times and get tickets there too if you want. There's tickets at the door. But thank you, Dana. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody else, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.